Action.
Okay, the title of this reading is In the Grip of Graffiti. Okay, something to think about at the very top. What is the best way to find the truth? Two people look at graffiti on a wall. One says, "That's really ugly." The other says, "Bare walls are uglier. Those drawings are art." What do you think of graffiti? As you read the article, ask yourself, is graffiti art or is it damage to property? Suppose you are a good artist. You like to paint with bright colors and you like to paint on empty spaces, outside like walls and doors.
Can you see?
You evaluate your work and think it's wonderful. Now suppose you walk outside one morning and find your home covered with graffiti. Would you conclude that that was wonderful too? People have written and drawn on walls for thousands of years. For just as long, people have complained about the markings. However, what we call graffiti today first appeared in New York City in the late 1960s. Young people sprayed paint on walls and sidewalks in their neighborhoods. They signed their nicknames. The first graffiti makers were people with names such as Topcat 126, Joe 182, and Julio 204. These young people called their work tagging. Tagging spread in early 1970s. That is when a messenger, Taki 183, began to tag subway cars in which he traveled. In 1971, the New York Times wrote about Taki 183. The newspaper used the word graffitis to describe what he did. Turn the page, page 14. By the early 1980s, graffiti covered everything from trains to buildings to statues in New York City. The work of one artist in particular caught people's attention. Keith Haring, an art student, began making drawings in subway stations. Workers had used black paper to cover walls waiting for ads. Haring thought the black paper would be a good place for art, so he set chalk to paper. Soon he had made hundreds of pictures. Many liked them. People began to debate whether graffiti could actually be art. Artists such as Jean-Michel Basquiat began making graffiti-style paintings. Art galleries sold the work of Basquiat and other artists like him for thousands of dollars. Dangerous and costly. Meanwhile, other people began to perceive graffiti as a big problem. In some areas, taggers sprayed street signs until nobody could read them. In New York City, taggers covered whole subway cars. Passengers could not see out of windows or read station signs. Families had to pay to have graffiti removed from their property. Business owners hired people to clean graffiti from their buildings. Cities had to pay to clean graffiti from bridges, tunnel walls, and statues. Graffiti cleanup is still very expensive. The chart below shows how much several cities spent to remove graffiti in 2006. Graffiti costs people money in other ways also. In areas with a lot of graffitis, stores do less business. The value of houses go down too. Why do they do it? Drawing or writing on property without the owner's permission is against the law. So why does it continue? There is no single answer. Many taggers like Taki183 use tagging to let people know who they are and where they have been. Other graffiti makers use graffiti to spread ideas about politics, life, and society. For example, graffiti makers sprayed "Save Our Jobs" on buildings in neighborhoods where many businesses had closed. For still other graffiti makers, painting pictures is a strategy for showing off their talent. Some of these would-be artists believe they are making cities more colorful places to live.
Wait, not quite yet.
As one graffiti maker put it, sure, painting on someone's house or writing your name on a wall is not a good thing. But you're saying you'd rather live in a metropolis, gray-walled city housing with nothing but narrow-minded, robotic people.
Yeah, I know robotic.
Given the problems that graffiti causes, however, some people have to come to the conclusion that it does not really matter whether graffiti is art. When someone writes or draws on property without permission, it's a crime. That is one thing about graffiti that is not debatable.
Below are wrap it up questions. Please feel free to answer the questions. Thank you for listening.